Hello boxing fans, here with the legend Barry Mcguigan. Barry, we've just seen Azim go the full distance. A lot of people wanted him to get rounds. We've seen a different Azim in there. He got knocked down, got a good couple of rounds. Just talk to me about Adam's performance of the night.
I thought it was exceptional. He hurt the guy. He done everything he could have done to the guy apart from knock him out. Had him down in the second, very badly hurt, hit him on top of the head. You know, the guy had his hand glued to the side of his face. So he jabbed the head off him, hit him to the body, hit him to the head, battered him. And I'm telling you, that kid is so tough. I mean, I can't imagine what his brain looks like if they scanned it now, because he got such a beating, but he was incredibly brave. And you know, in many ways, that's the best thing that could have happened for Adam. He can't knock everybody out. If he'd hit the guy clean, he'd have knocked him out. And he hit him on top of the head, and he still got through the rounds. But it's great for him because he had to show another side to him. That's what this game's about. But yeah, he's still an amazing fighter, and he's going to go on and do amazing things. And that is one of the toughest kids I have ever seen. All the best, mate. Take care.
I just spoke to Adam just now, and he did tell me that. Whilst I was watching, I thought he might have his right hand especially.
Yeah, he hurt his hands. He hurt both his hands. They're quite bruised. But when you punch as hard as he does, that's a occupational hazard that happens, and so what you do, you ice them and make sure that you put on Lazanil and bruising cream and get the bruising out of it and go again. That's just the nature of the sport. You know, he tried Grant's gloves tonight. He had flies the last time. He's tried all the gloves, but he hits. When you hit as hard as he hits, you know, and your head is full of little bones. And you know, you're going to hurt your hands. It's as simple as that. You know, he puts on tape and lots of bandages and tape, and Shane does a magnificent job with taping his hands. But you know, he simply punches too hard not to hurt his hands. That's just, as I say, an occupational hazard. But it won't detract from him. You look at how spectacular he looked. Had him badly hurt in the 10th round. Could have finished him. Could have finished him in the second. But won every round by a mile and beat the kid up very badly.
Are we still on course for this European title that he's after? I know he doesn't want to go through the normal route, and unfortunately he can't, but there is a European slot there for him. We're still on course for that right now.
Absolutely, of course. I mean, so just want to get his hands, the bruising out of his hands, and we'll be straight in again. And of course Ramadan's coming up, so that might be a problem for him. But we hope to get a fight in before Ramadan. And you know, we get him ranked in the European. He beat the European champion right now. I mean, that's the truth. And so it's very difficult not to run the risk of jumping too far ahead because we're impatient or whatever. And we know what he does in the gym. We see how he handles fighters and how he handles champions. And you know, he's a magnificent talent, and nothing that happened tonight will detract from that.
I was speaking to Ben Shalom before the fight, and one question that I asked him was, or one thing that I said to him was that yourselves, the Mcguigans, and Boxer must be happy because they've got probably the best male prospects coming up in Azim and the best female in Caroline Dubois. Caroline again today did what she did. I spoke to her, she wasn't happy. She was very critical of herself.
Which, you know, you cannot beat a negative fighter in a knockout fashion. Not if they don't want to fight. If they want to just survive, it's very difficult to beat them in a devastating fashion if they want to survive. So that's something I know from experience. If guys just want to get through the rounds and not get hit clean, then they make it very difficult for you to be able to blast them out of there. She's a spectacular talent, and we're only going to see her like Adam when somebody really fires back at him and fires back at her and has a fight with her. And the better the class of opponent, just like Adam, we can pop her straight in at world class level right now, and she's only a baby. So it's very exciting for her as well. We're very excited about Caroline. And of course Ellie Scottney, who's spectacularly talented as well. So we've got a gym full of really brilliant young talent, and it's a very exciting time, and so onwards and upwards.
A lot of people are touting or pipping Caroline Dubois to take the baton from some of the big Kate Taylors and the Clarissa Shields of of female boxing. Do you feel like she's got it in her to take that?
Absolutely, she's right up in that league, and you know, Katie's going to fight Serrano, and we hear that might be her last fight. Somehow or other, she seems to me the sort of lassie that will want to go on and box on because it's so important in her life, boxing and training, and you know, being so focused. But Caroline Dubois will be breathing down her neck in the next 10 months. Definitely, she is just such a spectacular talent, and very excited about her prospects.
There's a last couple from myself. I do want to talk about boxing with yourself quickly. Anthony Joshua is back on the scene. I was at the press conference the other day against Jermaine Franklin. What do you make of this opponent for Joshua? Is it the right opponent at the right time for him?
Oh, it's the right opponent. He's not a tremendous puncher, but he's brave, takes a great shot, and comes to fight. So he won't have to go looking for him. He'd be right in his face, and it'll be easy. It'll be good to measure his performance against Dillian Whyte, who couldn't get rid of him. And many people felt that Jermaine Franklin beat Dillian Whyte. So if he can beat him convincingly, better still if he can knock him out, then he's resurrected. If he doesn't, if he loses, then it's the end.
Does he need that knockout? Does he need a convincing performance against Franklin to make sure that he's back up there with the big boys?
Absolutely, he needs a devastating performance. Don't know that he'll be able to knock out Franklin, but if he could, that would really send a message to the division.
You've obviously dealt with boxing a long time, former champion yourself. You know the know-hows or what it takes to be a world champion. Do you feel like Anthony Joshua can become champion again?
He can, but it's up to him. He's got to put the work in, and he's got to put the effort in. He's got to make himself better, and he's got to try and improve as best he can, and go straight back and fight for the title as soon as he can get a chance.
Final one for myself. Fighting the heavyweight division we're looking forward to, and hopefully it gets made, is for all the belts. Oleksandr Usyk versus Tyson Fury. What happens in that fight, Barry?
Tough fight, hard to predict. Everybody's favouring Tyson Fury, but it's not a foregone conclusion. You know, Usyk just loves tall guys, rangy guys. He can do so much with them, so much quicker, having that speed and that versatility, and the way he can box, being a southpaw, all of those things combined make him a very difficult opponent to beat. It's a 50-50 fight.
Actually, last one for myself. Just because you're a legend of the sport and we know what you've done in boxing, you've been in this era of YouTube fights, Jake Paul fighting Tommy Fury. What do you make of this? You're an old school head. What do you make of this?
I think Jake Paul is clever. He picks guys that he knows he can beat, and he knows he's the firm favourite in the fight. Tommy Fury's a talented kid, but he's too immature and too underdeveloped at this stage. And I pick Paul as the winner, but it could be a decent enough fight. So I still think that Jake Paul will be the favourite.
Thank you very much, Barry. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.